Welcome to the Thundercloud Sage and anyone else who may be watching. We don't have a whole lot to go over today, really, so it might be a bit of a quicker stream unless you think I should do a little Bellotro at the tail end of it. But Sage, did you get a chance to watch the Jets? Go head to head against the New England Patriots. Did you get a chance to watch that game? You know what, Sage? Just say no and we'll move on. Just say no and we'll move on, okay? Sage says I watched a total of 0 minutes. You know what, Sage? I'll ditto that. Same thing for me. I didn't watch any of it. Would have liked to listen to it a little bit, but I was far too busy at work, so it is what it is. Not the worst game in the world to miss. I mean, it kind of went the way gamblers said, and that's all that really matters. It was a 13-point spread like we covered yesterday. I said the Jets would cover the 13, and technically they did, so the Jets did cover, but New England picked up their 9th win of the year. Currently the best team in the NFL, and Drake May, prior to today, was the favorite to win the MVP. I don't think he did much to hurt himself. He didn't throw many touchdowns or anything like that, but still put up a 108 rating, had a touchdown, 281 yards, so I think he's still in pretty good shape for a possible MVP. I still think Matt Stafford's going to take it, though. I'm not saying Drake May's going to take a step back, but he might take a little bit of a step back, so that's all I got for that. In terms of rushing, looks like Travion Henderson got 2 touchdowns for the Dream Team, helping me out a great deal in fantasy. Only 62 yards on 19 carries, but those 2 touchdowns do mean a lot. So I think that's about 32.5 fantasy points that he put up for me, and now has me favored to win this week's matchup, which everyone says I can't win. Well, bet against me. See what the fuck happens, okay? That's all I gotta say about that bullshit. And receiving, Stephon Diggs led the way. 105 yards with 9 receptions, no touchdowns on 11 targets, so obviously a very efficient day for him. Passing the ball, I mean, Justin Fields is who we thought he was. 116 yards, 4.5 per throw, 1 touchdown, so better than he normally does, and an 81.6 rating. Running the ball, I mean, Justin Fields is pretty damn good, 67 yards and 11 totes. And Breece Hall didn't have a great game, but he was up against the #1 rush defense in football, so only 58 yards on 14 carries. So if you plugged and played Breece Hall, you're probably immediately regretting your decision right there, because that's the equivalency of 5.8 fantasy points. Luckily, he had 2 receptions. That brings it up to 7.8. And then 6, so 8.4 yards, or 8.4 fantasy points from Breece Hall. Assuming he didn't get a fumble, which he didn't. That was Justin Fields' job. He had 1 fumble that he had lost there. So that's the tail of the tape there. In terms of MVPs, as you can tell by the title, Aaron Judge won a close one against Cal Raleigh. So Aaron Judge had 17 out of 30 first place votes. Cal Raleigh had 13 out of 30, so one of the closer MVP races that we've seen. This is Judge's 2nd in a row. He had 53 home runs. I think he had an 1145 OPS as well, so OPS offensive wise, he definitely definitely was the best offensive player in baseball. Kind of would have liked to see Cal Raleigh win it, just because he's a catcher who plays good defense. And, it was a record-setting year for a catcher. He had 60 home runs, albeit he DH'd quite a bit as well, but that's kind of normal. Finishing 3rd was Jose Ramirez, and Bobby Witt finished in 4th place for the voting. So, kind of what we expected. And then in terms of the National League, I mean, Ohtani won his 4th MVP in the last 5 years. Did it a little bit differently this year. I mean, he did have 55 home runs, but this time last year we were talking about him being in the 50-50 club. He didn't steal as many bases this year at all, but he was pitching, so he had a 2.87 ERA across 47 innings pitched. Next year is going to be very interesting for him because, I mean, he won his second straight as well, but he's actually going to be pitching to start the year, so definitely the favorite in the National League for next year. Finishing in second was Kyle Schwarber, who hit over 50 fucking home runs, and then Juan Soto finishing third. So kind of went the way we saw it would go down. In terms of comeback players of the year, I mean, I bet on this guy at the start of the year when I drafted him fairly early in the draft. Ronald Acuna get the National League Comeback Player of the Year. I mean, he did end up, you know, I think he got injured at the end of the year. I could be wrong, but he had fucking close to a 915 or a 930 OPS across 95 games, 21 home runs. Speed didn't look like it was quite where it was previous to that. I think his speed will go up a little bit next year, but he has had 2 ACL surgeries in his career, so maybe he's never going to get back to 70 to 80 stolen bases, but definitely in line to be a first-round pick in fantasy next year. Comeback player of the year, and I was not paying attention to this at all, but it looks like Jacob deGrom was able to stay healthy. When he pitches, one of the best in the game. It was his best season his best season for starting since 2019. Last year, obviously, he had another Tommy John. I would not draft him early in the draft next year if you're thinking of drafting him in baseball, because he does get injured every fucking year. So good on him for rebounding. I mean, ERA south of 3, but I just don't trust him to be like a top 10 pitcher next year whatsoever. But I said the same about Chris Sale last year. You know, that I didn't think he'd stay healthy, so you never know. It's quite possible, but who the fuck knows, right? And that's really all we had to cover for today. So unless I'm playing Balatro, that's where we're gonna call it. So I'll let you guys decide. Should I do a Balatro run with 5 jokers left to get, or should we just call it there? You guys can post your comments while I get Steam up. I am going to play Balatro regardless. So what do you think there, Sage? Are we playing or are we going? Well, look at the time, he says. Sage is resistant to make a comment. Still a little bit resistant and cumbersome. I think the peace signs. All right, you guys don't want to jinx my runs? Well, then I'm fucking out of here. Then I will go play Balatro by myself. You guys have a good night. We'll be back at it tomorrow, hopefully with some more rumors. The Raptors won tonight. I think that's 6 of their last 7, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, have a good night, guys. See you later.